Imagine this. You are not one person, but a gallery of ghosts. The anxious child from a forgotten schoolyard still flinches at raised voices. The triumphant teenager of a first love still swells your chest with a pride that isn't yours anymore. They are all in there, whispering. You call it memory, but it's more alive than that. It's a parliament of past selves, each casting votes on your present decisions. You think you move through the world by choice, but feel that subtle tug, that unseen gravity pulling you toward familiar shadows. Why does a success feel hollow if it wouldn't impress a version of you that no longer exists? Why does a criticism sting with the specific ancient venom of a ghost you thought you'd buried? This is the silent war of identity. You were told you change, you grow. But what if the truth is more unsettling? You don't leave your old selves behind. You build over them like architectural layers, and on stormy nights, the old foundations shift. They haunt not with malice, but with persistence, their unresolved fears, their untested dreams, their desperate needs seep through the floorboards of your consciousness. They shape your reactions before your present mind can speak. So we must ask the great haunting question: who is really in charge? The you of now, or the committee of then? This isn't just about nostalgia or regret. It's about a fundamental paradox of being: to feel singular, yet to be profoundly, invisibly multiple. The key to your cage may lie in understanding the very ghosts you've been running from. The haunting persists because you mistake these ghosts for artifacts, when they are, in fact, active architects. This is not a flaw of memory, but a function of consciousness itself. Carl Jung called these fragments complexes, autonomous psychic entities that usurp your energy. Friedrich Nietzsche saw it as the tyranny of history, warning that the past must be skillfully forgotten, lest it become a gravedigger for the present. You are conditioned by societal forces that demand a coherent narrative. You must present a solid self to the world, so you glue the shards of your past into a mosaic called me. But the glue is weak. Philosophically, you are trapped in what Jean-Paul Sartre termed bad faith. You pretend you are a fixed essence, your past defining your future, to avoid the terrifying freedom of being nothing but what you choose to be in this moment. Viktor Frankl observed that even in the concentration camps, the last human freedom was the choice of one's attitude. Yet you willingly surrender this freedom to your ghosts, letting a decade-old humiliation decide you are not brave, allowing a childhood joy to dictate a lifelong, fruitless search for its replica. The psychological mechanism is a perverse form of loyalty. To abandon a past self feels like a betrayal, so you let it linger, a silent partner in every decision. But what are they loyal to? A version of reality that has ceased to be. This internal civil war drains your vital force, not with a shout, but with a whisper you've learned to call intuition. To end the war, you must first understand its most devastating, unseen consequence. If this exploration of the psyche resonates with you, consider subscribing. The journey into the unseen forces that shape us is only beginning. Your thoughts are vital. Share your own experiences with these ghosts in the comments below. This silent civil war does not merely echo in your mind. It constructs your reality from the inside out. Neurologically, your brain is a prediction machine, wired to use the past to forecast the future. Each haunting is a loop, a well-worn neural pathway firing again, convincing you that the old map still describes the new territory. This is the source of your déjà vu, your inexplicable attractions and repulsions, the ceilings you cannot seem to break. Cognitive biases like the mere exposure effect make the familiar feel safe, even when it's a familiar prison. You are culturally conditioned to seek a stable identity, a brand called you. But this quest forces you to fossilize, to privilege consistency over truth. The consequence is a life lived in subtle anachronism. You replay old defenses in new relationships, apply adolescent strategies to adult problems, and seek trophies for ghosts who can no longer receive them. Your present becomes a museum, not a workshop. Your emotions are not entirely your own. They are inherited reactions. The anxiety you feel is often not about the meeting tomorrow, but the echo of a forgotten test. The loneliness is not about your empty room, but the ghost of a self that once felt fundamentally unlovable. You walk through a world of present tense possibilities, but see it through a smoked glass of yesterday, mistaking its tint for the true color of things. This is the trap, a perceived safety that costs you your authentic engagement with the now. But what if the way out is not to silence the ghosts, but to engage them in a final revolutionary dialogue? The rebellion begins not with exorcism, but with acknowledgement. You must turn and face the gallery. The radical shift is this: your past selves are not tyrants to be overthrown, but unintegrated parts pleading for closure. You grant it not by obeying them, but by finally listening. Sit with the ghost of your ashamed teenager. Thank them for the protection they attempted to offer, then tell them their job is done. The work is active recontextualization. As philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer suggested, while we cannot change the events that happen to us, we can change what they mean. You perform this alchemy by asking, not, what did this make me? But what can I now make of this? This is counterintuitive. We think freedom is forgetting. True freedom is conscious re-remembering. Write a letter to a past version of yourself, not with nostalgia, but with the compassionate authority of a leader. Forgive them their limitations. Extract the wisdom from their trauma and discard the enduring pain as useless data. Historical figures who broke free, Nelson Mandela, Viktor Frankl, did so by refusing to let their brutal past define their future essence. They integrated the event without becoming the event. You reclaim control by ceasing to fight a multi-front war and instead unifying your army of selves under the banner of the present moment. You are not dissolving the past. You are drafting it into the service of your current purpose. But this integration leads to one final staggering realization about the nature of the one who is doing the looking. Here is the ultimate truth that redefines everything. The you that observes these ghosts, that feels their tug and decides to finally listen, is itself not a fixed point. This witnessing consciousness is the only true present tense entity you possess, and it is empty. It is not the child, nor the teenager, nor even yesterday's you. It is the silent screen upon which all these selves are projected. Your entire life, you have identified with the projections, mistaking the movie for the screen. This is the paradigm shift. You are not the haunted. You are the space in which the haunting occurs. This realization is both devastating and liberating. It means you are fundamentally free. The ghosts have no power over the screen. They are merely images upon it. Your past selves are stories you keep telling, but the storyteller is weightless, unborn, and capable of choosing a new narrative in any instant. Your identity is not a statue to be carved and finished, but a river to be inhabited. The final rebellion is to release the desperate need to be anyone at all. To sit in the holy, silent ambiguity of the present, where you are no longer a collection of remnants, but the boundless potential that holds them. You are not a gallery of ghosts. You are the entire museum, and the city and the night sky outside its windows. Now, the haunting can end. The ghosts, finally seen in this light, may just stop whispering and become part of the landscape, no longer rulers, but quiet citizens of a vast and sovereign peace. If this final realization offered a new perspective, subscribe for more content that challenges the boundaries of self and perception. Let us know in the comments, what part of your museum did this journey help you see differently?